As part of the integration setup, we will configure the communication between SAP and an ITSM. This setup includes maintaining the OAuth configuration settings and creating the RFC destination used for the API communication. First, we need to create an OAuth profile in SAP. This profile will store the authorization server metadata and will later be referenced in the RFC destination configuration used for the integration. To begin, open transaction SE80 and navigate to your target package in the object tree. Once there, right-click the package and select Create. Others. OAuth Profile. Next, enter a meaningful profile name that clearly identifies the target system or integration scenario. Then, set the profile type to default and save the profile. The profile name created here will later be referenced in the SM59 destination configuration, so it's recommended to use a clear and consistent naming convention. Next, we create the OAuth client configuration. Open transaction OA2C config. On older SAP systems where this transaction is not available, use transaction SOAuth instead. This is the legacy OAuth administration interface available in earlier NetWeaver releases. Now click Create to add a new OAuth client configuration. First, assign the OAuth profile that we created in the previous step. Then, maintain the general client details, such as the configuration name and the client ID. Next, enter the client secret. Under Authorization Server Settings, maintain the endpoints. Authorization endpoint and token endpoint. Let's move now to access settings. Set client authentication to basic. Set resource access authentication to header field. And finally, under selected grant type, choose client credentials. Once all required fields are maintained, save the configuration. To confirm everything is working correctly, we'll perform a quick test. Let's continue by creating the RFC destination. The HTTP destination defines the connection parameters for the Jira API endpoint and links the OAuth profile to the outbound connection. Maintain the destination name, host SSL, and HTTP settings required for the integration. Finally, assign the OData configuration that was created earlier. To verify the configuration, we can perform a quick connection test. If the OAuth button is not available in the SM59 destination, maintain the OAuth configuration directly in the ITSM interface. You can use the existing OAuth template and simply provide the corresponding profile and configuration. Once this is maintained, the setup is complete. SAP is now ready to communicate securely with the external ITSM system using OAuth-based authentication. This setup establishes a secure and reliable foundation for outbound integration.